Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is set to meet King Charles III on Monday. He plans to address US President Donald Trump's controversial threats to annex Canada and make it the 51st state. Recently, Trudeau stated that defending Canada's sovereignty and independence is the most pressing issue for Canadians right now. King Charles, Canada's head of state, has faced mounting criticism for remaining silent on Trump's remarks, sparking renewed debate over the monarchy's role in the country. Former Alberta Premier Jason Kennedy said the King can only act on the advice of Canada's government and urged Trudeau to ask Charles to reaffirm Canada's sovereignty. This meeting comes as discussions grow around the future of the monarchy's relevance in Canada, where affection for the late Queen Elizabeth remains strong, but support for King Charles has been far more lukewarm. To discuss this, we are joined by Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza, international affairs expert, joining us live from London. And we're also joined by Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, joining us from New Delhi. I wanted to come to you first, Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza. What does this mean for Canadians? What does this meeting mean? Justin Trudeau has said that there is no chance of Canada being the 51st state. Why is Trudeau so worried about this happening?
Thank you very much, Thomas. First of all, I think that you cannot bully a nation into submission or annexation just by increasing the tariff rates. I think King Charles is still relevant in the Commonwealth. He is the head of state of Commonwealth countries, and the fact that an invitation was extended to Donald Trump by Keir Starmer during his visit to the Oval Office might be the reason for this, to discuss face-to-face with Donald Trump about his statements regarding Canada, to make it America's 51st state. So I think that the relevance of the monarchy is still important, especially in the Canadian context, since British military base, when it comes to that, Canada hosts the largest British military base. So there are very deep-rooted ties between Canada and Great Britain. Vis-a-vis monarchy and military assistance. So I think that this is going to be an important meeting, and let's see what comes up. I think that the King is not going to make a public statement regarding Trump's, this drama about annexing Canada. But some kind of statement will come to reassure the Canadian people that their sovereignty will be protected.
Gautam Mukherjee, thank you for joining us. I wanted to ask you, how important is this meeting? Does the British King really have relevance and power to be in this political conversation? And should Canadians be worried as they clearly are, as Justin Trudeau has said?
Well, in a way, the fact that they're escalating the matter to King Charles gives it a lot more importance than perhaps Trump intended. Trump, I think, was trying to pressure Canada into stopping all sorts of incursions from the Canadian-US border, particularly drugs and people. And the tariffs are in context of that. I think he will impose the tariffs just to make clear that he means business, as he will also impose them on Mexico. He has already done so on China. Canada's talking of counter tariffs. Well, so be it. America sells a lot of goods to Canada and will take a hit on it, and Canada will likely take a hit on it. There is common sense in the idea of Canada becoming the 51st state, because it's not viable on its own. It is subsidized and funded and propped up by the United States. Britain and Europe, I mean, as has been seen in the post-Zelensky meeting, are not in a position to pressurize the United States. They when they are talking of giving money to Zelensky, they're talking of 2 billion and 1 billion. Now that means the whole of Western Europe might pony up some 20 billion. America gives 100 and something billion each shot, has paid anywhere, the figures are challenged, but anywhere between 180 and 350 billion over the last 3 years towards the Ukraine war. Europe is in no position. And King Charles, well, maybe he can make a statement, a polite statement on, to support Canada, but more importantly, Britain itself is in no position to pressurize anyone in America. So that is the situation. Last of all, Thomas, congratulations on the new channel.
Thank you.
I was very happy to be there for the inauguration, meeting you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mirza, I wanted to come back to you. How much political relevance does King Charles still have? We obviously have an invitation from the King to Donald Trump as well. Can we expect the King to sway Trump politically, or does he have no standing whatsoever in these modern times?
Well, I think Starmer's rating was going really down, and he is now trying to use this issue of Zelensky being thrown out of the White House and standing up and acting as a statesman, saying that we can have boots on ground as peacekeeping force and all that. So I think that Keir Starmer is using this opportunity to increase his national and international profile as a leader. However, I think that this invitation that was extended to Donald Trump was to calm him down, was to give him something to behave himself, that here we are, our king is inviting you, sir. So, let the meeting run smoothly. Nothing was gained out of that meeting. Nothing was gained out of the meeting with the French Prime Minister. And the only thing that was gained out of the meeting with Zelensky is that Zelensky, who is a master of playing the victim card, has come out of the White House battered and bruised and come to Europe for help. And now we have this summit in Europe where everyone is pledging. And Trudeau has actually yesterday announced more sanctions on Russia. So I don't know where is this Trudeau's mindset coming from, but I disagree with the August guest, Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, that Canada is not a viable state. Canada has been a viable state since the Paris Treaty in 1736, when the French handed over Canada to the British. And the only issue is, how can Canada have a better government that can increase the manufacturing sector, that can increase its participation in the economic activity of the Commonwealth countries. And no nation can come just like a whiff into submission to some bully. Donald Trump has to revisit his plan of how he wants to run America and leave a political legacy during the next 4 years.
Yes. Gautam Mukherjee, first of all, thank you for your kind words. But I wanted to ask, do you think Canadians should be worried? Justin Trudeau said that it's the biggest thing that is mattering to Canadians right now. You're saying they should be worried about being annexed by the United States, and Trump could maybe move and do that?
Well, Trump is he's made a statement that might walk out of NATO and the UN. I mean, think about it. That means you Europeans are on your own. And he has also made a statement that Putin should be brought back into the G7, where he was barred by the previous administration. So things are moving fast. And I would hazard that if you were to ask the Canadians in a referendum, like the one that was conducted in Scotland, you'd be surprised at the results on how many would like to be part of the United States. There's a general benefit. Ditto Greenland. The established order is naturally outraged. The ground is shifting under their feet. They're not likely to, they've never encountered diplomacy of this order, at least in this century. 1776, Britain was a world power. This is 2025. America can pretty much do whatever it wants.
Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza and Gautam Mukherjee, thank you very much for joining us.